Yeah, just in case. Even though he doesn't message, but like I figured maybe he sees the his little messenger, but he's probably really busy. All right, so all right, here we are, guys. We're a couple of days late. Life happens. Taxes are due. People are tired. Today's episode's gonna be based on the concept of as you're on this search for this information and understanding yourself and how to navigate life with positivity, understanding the universe and how that works for you. Uh, that everything's not perfect and you can't just cut out all negativity or you're being unrealistic because life has it in there and it takes positive and negative to work together to be anything. So if you're trying to weed all that out of your life, you have unrealistic expectations of life, and you're probably looking to live in Candyland somewhere. And it's going to be hard for you to navigate through the bullshit. So, kind of the concept. That's why it's not all peaches and cream. And some people try to steer in this information so much that they just don't want to deal with anything that has any sort of negative connotation to it, and they never get anywhere because they won't even deal with some of the bullshit that comes with getting to wherever it is you're trying to go. It's like you saying you want to, you know, do X amount of business to make a certain amount of dollars this month, right? Well, what if you have a negative customer? You've got to understand how to fact. You can't go, I'm cutting everybody out. You're going to be interacting with those kind of people, and are they so negative and are you so weak that their little negativity infiltrates your system and changes your vibration? I mean, it's realistic to think that way because I know me, somebody cuts me off and I automatically move to their vibration level and I want to react at their level, right? All the time, but you can't go through life just like cutting everybody and everything out because it might be negative, or you're trying to live in where the Care Bears are living in Rainbow Bright, and all those people live on those cotton candy, clouds, and everything's cushy, and you don't have to worry about any bumps and scrapes. You've got to be resilient. You've got to accept that things are negative, but then use this information on how to navigate through that negativity. Yeah, it's not realistic to live in, and people go, "Oh, being realistic, like that's like limiting belief." But it's like, no, you live in this life that's real, and if you're trying to make your dreams, which are fantasies, become real and realize those dreams, you got to live in the real world mentally, and so you got to figure out how to marry those two things. And I just see so much of it even within our group. Sometimes it gets a little heavy on the only positivity, and it's like, hey, motherfucker, not everything's positive. Homeboy's wife might just leave him. Somebody's kid might frickin', get hit by a frickin', goat, or some wild shit could happen. Like anything could happen. And it, shit ain't all positive. Homies could die from cancer. Not everything's all positive. You know what I mean? uh, you've got to figure out how to navigate that. Some people get so stuck on the not knowing this information enough and exercising it that they go like, from a you are who you hang out with thing. It's like, well, you are who you hang out with, but it's who you're attaching yourself to take on the journey with you. It's not just because you might have somebody that who happens to be in your life for a little bit, here and there. It doesn't mean that it's what you're doing most of the time, right? But I just see a lot of this stuff be like so heavy positive that it makes it kind of funny. You know what I mean? It's like that's not what's up. That's not what's happening. Period. You want to get in there, sometimes you got to throw a fat fucking elbow on something. Like it's like I just laugh when people are just so into it that it's like, okay, dream as big as you want, do all that stuff, but don't sit there and try to act like a negative source doesn't exist and won't exist in your life, or you're just fucking bullshitting yourself. You know what I mean? And you're setting yourself up to fail. If you can understand how to absorb some of that negativity and then navigate that and then steer it in the direction you want with the information, that's more, you're going to be a lot better set up and prepared for whatever it is you have in your journey. It's like saying, I'm not going to deal with any drama. I only want good in the world. Well, what has to happen sometimes for good to happen? War. People need to die. Shit's got to happen. You got to cut out the end. I mean, what's so fun about chopping a head off? Well, he was evil. Well, was that a positive situation? You chopped his head off. The result was that like you sometimes you got to get in and get dirty, and that can be in your work, as you would put it. Like you're in there. It's like shit. Ain't everything gonna be that? What you got to try and get all that negativity out that you can get out, that is reasonable to take out of your life, but you can't take all of it out. You've got to navigate and bounce off some life that there's some negative fucked up shit, and you just got to deal with it. And it's perspective too, right? It's how you look at it. Like my journey recently this week has been, every time I see something negative that I would normally that I would normally perceive as a negative situation, and re-angle it my way I look at it. And I was breaking it down to my kids, which is funny. It's like I almost tripped and fell on my fucking face in the kitchen, right? They got their hoverboards all over the fucking place. And in places that you would normally not have these things, like in front of the dishwasher, and I'm about to get some water, I about eat it. And I'm like, these motherfucking kids, their shit is always on the ground. I'm always about to fall down the stairs because the one place this family stores all their shit is on the stairs, where it's like the one walkway you need to be able to get down. And it's like, that's the dumbest tripping hazard. Like, what the fuck? And I remember just like about to snap. And I was like, you know what? No. How lucky am I to have kids, to move their shit out of the way, to do all that? I have kids. This is cool. Like, and it really just like re-switched my mind. And I thought, after that, I started thinking of all the other things in life. This was a dumb example in the sense that it wasn't a big serious situation, but it was that little situation that made me think and apply that to other situations of like how fortunate you are every day. You know what I mean? When you start looking at some really fucked up situations, but you're really not even from a gratitude or fortune, but just retaking the lens and moving it a little bit. You know what I mean? And once you start doing that, that's part of navigating through some of the bullshit. Not everything's negative. You can take anything you want in the world as negative. For me, I've done it a lot of times, probably more than not, or I'd be a billionaire right now. Taking things that aren't necessarily negative and turning them into negative, because technically, if there's a different way to look at anything, you're steering it in the negative direction if you're not steering it in a positive one. But then again, there's some situations which are just 100% negative and there's no way around them. You know what I mean? No matter what mindset you have. And that's why I just think it's funny. A lot of these people spitting this game about this information really try to act like you can just stay strictly positive, and that's unrealistic. It's just not something that you're going to be able to apply into your regular life. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, your one way of thinking about it is, if you're not with me, you're against me, and you weed those people out for what you need. For I That's how I am. Anybody I look at that I from a friendship standpoint, I go, are they helping me get where I'm trying to be? If not, I really can't invest time into them. But you can't cut everybody out that you think's a little bit negative. It's like because you don't, like, no, I'm not dealing with it. And if you're so like hardcore like that, you're really kind of putting walls in front of yourself and making yourself have more hurdles, because some of those people, even negative, might have some value. And it's not like you're out there just trying to find people that can help you get ahead because you're selfish, but it's just to not think that everything's just going to be fucking because you choose to have only a positive path, that it's all perfect. It's just not how it works. That's like saying you want to get buff without working out, and without your chest hurting when you're done. Like, no negativity, my aching chest, not happening. Well, you're just not going to get bigger. So you're not going to get any gains. No pain, no gain. There's going to be a little bit of of shit, because that's what life is. Life has tons of it, uh, and but this information and this work, as you'd put it, like, is what helps you navigate this stuff and understand it and make it a little bit smoother. It's not going to be perfect because you've got to change your whole DNA and how you think and approach and what you say, how you say it, and most of us are getting in the game late, because we weren't taught it as kids. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're living in the sewer and trying not to get any shit in our mouth. It's like, good luck, man. If you want to get through this sewage fast, and move, you're gonna get a little bit of dookie in your mouth. That's just how it works, bro. You can't be swimming around in this sewage and think that some magical way you're gonna get through it. Nope, nope. Only things that smell good here. Like, well, then you're just fucking an idiot, and you're gonna get drowned in this fucking sewer and have a whole lot of shit in your mouth. Yeah, it's one choice, and it could literally handcuff you to where you no longer have the luxury of having a choice. We are very fortunate people, and the fact that we have a choice to do what we want with our lives. And if you fuck that up, and whether you're jailed or kill yourself or whatever it happens to be that you do, you can ruin that for yourself to where now you don't even get a chance to do it, or it's going to be even more of an obstacle to overcome. So it's very crazy, and that's why having this information, as in what Berto's saying, is knowing where your destination is, having a definite purpose, and that takes work. There's exercises and things you can do to figure that out, but by figuring that out and knowing what it is you're trying to do, it helps you know exactly where you're trying to go. It's just like knowing you want to go to this certain store and it's in a certain location, and you know how to get there. There's no reason you're probably going to take side streets and random streets and go down random ways for no reason, because you know where you're trying to go. And so all the other choices become quite simple because you know where you're trying to be. And so you're like, yeah, why would I go down that street? That's not going to get me to this store I'm trying to go to. So by knowing that kind of stuff, that helps you to not make some of those decisions that could cripple us, and really stop us from getting where we're trying to be. And that could be anything from financial ruin to some health shit to whatever. Even me, my big thing is I like to drink. You know what I mean? And not all day or anything like that, but like, I like to have a drink, but I know where I'm trying to be, so I literally don't drink as much because I know that it will stop me from doing what I'm set out to do and what I'm trying to do, especially having a definite prayer going, well, do you want to get this done? Well, then drinking and being buzzed and then eventually taking a nap and then eventually saying, screw it, that's not going to get me where I'm trying to go. So it stops me from drinking. It's starting me working out. It's starting me doing certain things because I know where I want to be. And if it's for you to be financially stable and you need to save money or you need to invest money, knowing what you're trying to do there, you're more apt to do that kind of stuff. But if you don't know you're trying to be in a certain area in life and you don't have a definite purpose, say it's a financial thing, say your goal is to invest in a big real estate, and you need to save up $20,000 to start your journey, right? You're probably less apt now that you know that to go spend a bunch of money blowing money on a new dirt bike or blowing money on a Disneyland trip, whereas not knowing that, you probably say, yeah, fuck it, yeah, let's get a dirt bikes, buddies. Like because you don't really. There's no real destination for your money, your mind, where you're trying to be. Having that definite purpose helps with a lot of this stuff. I mean, really helps you to be very focused and your intention is correct in where you apply what your decision making. Yeah, on my birthday, I was like thinking to myself how I'm starting to get correct as to where I want to be, and things are starting to move right. And then this fucking BMW has been like the bane, dude. I'm just like motherfucker, dude. $4,000 here, $5,000 there. It's like 8,000 one time, 7,000. You're like some people just want to jump the fucking thing off a cliff. And you're like hell yeah, I'm getting in. I just stacked some money. Okay, I'm getting right. I'm doing good. Okay, I'm in the right direction. I got shit going on that's about to pop off. And then that's my birthday, and we're heading out to Edgefield, and all of a sudden ding, this DSC inactive thing pops up, three fucking lights on the dashboard of the Beamer, and I'm like, I just fucking fixed this thing, and I'm just like, son of a bitch, and I know what it is. It's gonna be another $5,000, or it could be actually $8,000. And I'm like, son of a bitch, and I just laughed because I'm like, here's just when you think the shit's fucking going good, you're gonna have a challenge. And I'm not laughing like, oh, everything sucks. It's more like I'm just laughing like, here we go again. Like, just, but you'll know you get past it, you'll figure it out. But sure as shit, it was a false alarm. And nothing ever happened. It turned the car back on, never turned back on again. It was just some random thing. And I'm like, oh, cool. But when it happened, I remember just kind of laughing to myself, like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, you know what? It's all good. I'll figure it out. Like, but it's always something. It's especially when you have like full steam ahead. There's always some bullshit that's gonna happen. Yeah. Sorry, my laptop was about to go dead. Last time I let it go dead, it fucked up the whole thing. So anyway, but yeah, and it's funny once you learn to navigate through the bullshit, it doesn't really it doesn't really phase you as much. It's kind of like, here's the next wave of shit. Okay, I'll get over it. I'll figure it out. But it's just it's just life. But having this kind of information helps you really to really move through the shit kind of effortlessly. Yeah, it's for me. It's like probably the last month that I finally got to a state of just not really tripping and just being like, even like today, like normally I would have been like scrambling, getting my business going, hammering all morning, and just being all about it. And I was like, you know what? I gotta really catch up on this fucking video. So I'm gonna start out bright and early and fuck everything else. So I make money. I make money. If I don't, fucking who cares? And sure shit, I made money, and I sat there and I got a fucking shitload further on this video that I'm trying to do, that just it is very important for me to get done, so that I can move on to other things, like all these are all pieces to this moving puzzle. And for me, normally I'd be too stressed out to really put in as much effort because I'd be too busy stressing and scrambling over things that are out of my control, really, and then trying to muscle those things. And just lately, through this type of work and information, like applying it and really gonna just going, hey man, shit's gonna be what it is, like just go through your life and enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, if you're stressed, and then you fucking have a heart attack, you just spent the last fucking 10 years, whatever time period, stressing out. What the fuck? It is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Relax and enjoy it. You know what I mean? You only have one chance at it, so stop tripping out. You're on a roller coaster. Don't trip out that this next fucking one's gonna fly real fast down and fucking scare you a little bit. Just keep going with it. It can't just be something you just know about. It's got to be part of your life. It's got to be your faith. It's got to be what you believe, how you operate your whole system. You can't be like, I know of this thing, and then think somehow you're going to be able to work it. You can't. You're either in it or you're not. It's a choice now, because you have to have a choice. You have to have two things. You now have the information, and then the option to be depressed. Knowing makes you very aware. Like me, I've always struggled with depression, and it comes in waves for me. I slept in bed for like 4 months one time. Like it was that fucking heavy when I was younger, right? Like 18-year old. And it was like I didn't even give a fuck. I just wanted to lay in bed and just fucking sleep because I just didn't want to deal with the what my head would start spinning around because I got a crazy fucking head, dude. And so like but so it wasn't a choice at that time. I didn't have the information to get out of it. But by having this kind of information, now I get those waves. Hell, I had some of it coming on me today. Pause. I had some of that some of that coming over me today, and it was like immediately I just know I know what it is, and I'm like, no, that's not it. Drink a bunch of water. I know that sounds stupid, but I firm believer in water. Drink a bunch of water. It'll help you stay up. It'll make you feel good. Eat good today. You know, because eating bad will pull you right into your depression. People don't fucking realize food is massive. So I'm like, eat good, drinks a bunch of water. You know, and and get up, maybe go outside, move around, go hug your kids. Like there's just these other things that get your mind out of taking it in that spiral. But by having this information and understanding, it's like, well, what would be the cause of your depression right now? Maybe you have definite purpose and you're not applying anything towards that. So get back on that grind. That'll make you feel better. You know, actually applying yourself towards what you're doing, and then it'll make you confident about the future. Will be more instead of doom and gloom of the future, because depression is part of looking towards the future and feeling like that there's nothing there for you. By doing something more towards your definite purpose, whatever that may be, it all of a sudden brings this belief in you, and you believe that the future will be better. And for me, I'm just like, drink some water, eat good, go outside, move around a little bit, and then let's get on these videos, let's get this stuff going. And 20 minutes later, I'm back in shape, man. I'm good. But in the past, it would have been, fuck this. I'm gonna open that bottle of whiskey. We're gonna get faded, and that's how I'm gonna fucking cope with this. And that's a whole nother deal. You know what I mean? And then I'd be further depressed the next day because I now squandered a day I had the whole day available to me with nobody fucking with me to get what I wanted to do, to get a real good leap forward towards what I'm trying to do. And I would have been mad at myself for not taking advantage of that time, and I would have second guessed myself, and I would have beat myself up and said, you don't really want this shit, man. Like you're fucking around with your time, and that's some bullshit. You now have the time, and what are you doing? But no, don't give myself that opportunity. By having this information, I know what to do that'll pull me out of it. You know what I mean? To where I only ever spend 30 minutes in depression, unless I wake up in the middle of the night with some weird ass fucking dream, and then you're tired and gets you all fucking twisted. But by the morning, I'm good. You know what I mean? But it's pretty big having this information and being it part of your life, and then applying it. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I not for me, but I know for you, like every time you would fucking call me, I'd be like, fuck, what is he in now? And every day be like, son of a bitch, is he getting shot at or some dumbass shit happening? it's 3 a.m. Like, fuck. It's never to be like, hey, man, what's up? It's like, yeah, dude. So, like, I'm going to need to bring me and my assailant to your home. You're like, oh, what the fuck are you up to? Jesus Christ, dude. But, yeah, no, it's especially the stuff you were going through. I know for a fact. For me, I know the information has very much so helped me get back on track with my life and what I'm trying to do. Or I don't know where I would have been mentally. I was always pretty hardcore, like as to what I want to do. But I know, well, you know what? I say this much. I don't know that I would have been as in good shape with what I'm trying to do because I would have had to go back to some corporate job. Because my strength is leadership. I am a manipulative person, which lends its hand to leadership. I don't give a shit what no one says. And I would have been a boss to some company because that's all I would have been able to do because I would have given up. I wouldn't have, I don't want to think I would ever give up on what I'm trying to do, but I would have been more likely to think shit, it might be a longer stretch than I thought, and then folded to, the wife wanting me to get a job at, as a district manager or a regional manager for some place. And then eventually stressing out to where I die, because at one point I was so fucked up. Like, yeah, I was the number one store manager and all that bullshit. But I was so fucking stressed out. I was going to the doctor. I'm throwing up for no reason for anxiety in the mornings and shit. And it's like, just, so many things on my plate, and it's like overwhelming. Who knows what would have happened to me health wise? You're drinking heavy to because you're just getting your ass kicked in the corporate dog eat dog world. So I have to say this information helped me refocus my energy towards what my big strengths are, which are music business and the stuff I'm doing now, to where I can believe in and what I'm trying to achieve that's on a grander scale, and now how to navigate that. Whereas before, the information I had the fucking grander scale ideas and all the information as far as knowledge about the music biz, but like not the belief system in place to help me keep achieving and understanding that this will work out, this will happen, and keep applying yourself for that next stretch. I've had the Snoop Dogg stretch, I had all this stuff. So, I might have not had that belief system, and then next thing just folded and said, fuck, I guess I'm going to have to get a job with some corporate company, and still had this little belief that I'll somehow find those fucking second here and a second there to somehow make this big dream happen, when the truth is you really need a lot of fucking time to apply towards doing this. As we know right now, this shit takes fucking a shitload of time. Um, and then I would have been fucking maybe stressed to death. You know what I mean? It's funny you say that. There's this guy. He was he had something like $14 billion, right, of wealth. He was one of the wealthier men out there. I mean, nothing near Bezos was about to hit a trillion. That's just some fucking wild shit, right? Trillions, Jesus Christ. Anyway, but this guy, he's got say $14 million. He lost $9 million on a poor investment, and so now he's left with 5 billion, he lost $9 billion on a deal, so now he's left with 5 billion, and he was so stressed out over that. You still have $5 billion. He killed himself. You know what I mean? Because that was just too much for him to take. And it is different levels, different devils, dude. Like this guy who kills themselves with $5 billion. You know what I mean? Oh my god, all I have is 5 billion. Like, you know, I mean, like that's a true story. You look that shit up. But literally, in fact, I think it was in a Tony Robbins book. But the guy had $5 billion left. I mean, he still has $5 billion. Killed himself because he just thought he's a loser. I just lost all these billions. Yeah, but you have 5 billion left, and just offed himself. I mean, you think about it. It's like it's all about where your mind's at with it. I feel like it's a slippery slope with this information. I feel like it attracts a lot of people that don't want to do shit and just want to sit there and dream up that things are going to happen for them. It's very attractive in that sense that you just go, just think and grow rich. Oh, really? That's a great book, but you aren't just going to think and grow rich. There's a couple other fucking factors there. And you got to remember, some of these people writing these books and this information are just there for the bag. They are, so they're writing these books and leaving out some of the important parts of the puzzle to do. And a lot of the people who just want it easy jump into this information. Go, yeah, man, I'm positive. It's a fun feeling. It's an instant gratification thing. You go to your seminars, you feel real good. You go home and you don't do shit. But now you need another fucking dopamine rush. You go to the next podcast, you go to the next class, you go to the next work thing, you go to the next seminar, uh, and you get that vibe up again, and you feel good again. And I was funny. I was watching this. In fact, it was Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was like, man, why the fuck do you keep coming to all my seminars? Get the fuck out of here and go do something. Like, why are you still here? You're not rich yet. Like, what are you doing? I've been to all your shows. It's like, what? Like, it's a slippery slope. This information attracts a lot of people that want, they think it sounds easy. It's like the easy way. It's like you just believe it. It's like, well, you're kind of missing the point here. But it attracts a lot of people who just want to be like, yeah, no negative people. That's kind of what my thought of this whole it ain't all peaches and cream thing is. Like, people come here because they think it's all peaches and cream. The information, one aspect of it, which is people choose to not listen to the rest of the aspects, is that you just think about it and you do it. It's like, no, that's one small piece of this whole thing, and they'll come in because the idea is I can just go and dream it up and it'll happen. Well, no, not necessarily. That is definitely a huge portion of it. Fucking manifesting and doing that and the things that'll happen for you. But you know, it's drawing in a lot of bullshitters, a lot of people who just want to come in. Oh my god, cool, this is easy. I mean, I don't want to have to work. A lot of these people, I don't want to have to work for no one else. It's like, well, newsflash, you're gonna work harder than you ever did in your life, harder than you would for anybody else. If you want to work for yourself, you actually are going to work 10 times harder than you would have ever worked for anybody else. 10 times harder, if not more. I'm probably underestimating it. 10 times harder than you would work for anybody else. More time, more effort, more hours, more sacrifice. I know. More sacrifice. It's not the easier path. Like the people just like no, the easier path is getting a job for someone else who is just like just show up. I've scheduled your whole thing. You don't have to think. Do these things. Here's the standard operations and procedures. Do this, and you will receive a check and dental insurance and all this stuff. And then you'll just get handed the money, and you all we've got it all planned out. Just show up, and you get a job, and we'll pay you. That's the easiest way in life. The easiest way in life is just to go get a job. That's the easy path. And a lot of people are like, I'm not working for someone else. But then they also want to just not work. I mean, the key factor in a lot of these people. So this information draws in a lot of bullshit people that just want it easy. You don't really want whatever it is. You just want whatever comes with it from the perks. You know, you just want, oh, I just want the millions, and I'm just gonna think about it, show up, all positivity. I'm cutting negative people out, no negativity, no stress, just money's gonna fall on my lap, and it's like you've severely missed the fucking point. But this is a huge type of thing where people want to just come in. Well, it's religion really. People pray to God and think that, Ice Cube used to have this skit on one of his CDs, and it was this guy just leaves his car and gives him the keys to the car, and he goes, "Really, you can just have your car?" And he goes, "Yeah, Jesus will buy me another one." like he just takes and he goes, "Okay, he did, so I'll take this wallet too. Is that cool?" He's like, "Yeah, it's all good. Like Jesus will buy me another." Like sitting there just like praying like to God that everything will happen for you, and it's like, man, you're just looking for a handout. And a lot of people come to this information for the handout side of things, but don't understand that this work is self growth to prepare yourself, to shape yourself up for the real true journey ahead of you. If you're going for something great, you've got to sharpen your sword. You got to get your armor fucking clean. You got to get ready for battle, because that's what you're going against. And most people want to think that they're just coming in and gonna stand in line for the bag of money. That people are gonna just drop in their hand with fucking you know cotton candy clouds and the Care Bears and Rainbow Bright and unicorns flying all over the place and fucking Skittles falling from the sky. Like this is how it is. It's like, no. You're here to get ready for battle, to shape your mind, to get ready for that journey, to really go after what you want to do. And whatever it is you want to do is going to be tough and hard. And it's going to be a battle, and it's going to be a challenge. And you're going to need to be mentally sharp and prepared for it. You have to sharpen your sword. You have to get armor ready. You have to get going. It's saying you're going to work harder than you ever did for anything else, and you're ever in your life, and you're going to be more let down than ever, because now you finally had the chance to believe in something, and now it's scared. It's almost like people that are scared to open their heart up for love because they don't want to be let down. Now you're opening up your heart to hope, and there's going to be plenty of times where you're going to feel like you lost all hope. Whereas it's almost easier to just never believe and never have hope, and then you just live this whole slowly miserable life, right? But I really truly think that this opens himself up to a lot of people that just want it easy. It sounds good. People are like, yeah, this information, and it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know why you want it. You like this information, like because it sounds real good. It sounds like it's gonna be easy, but people don't. You got to get in this whole information and understand what it really is. And if you can apply it to true grit and what you're trying to do, you're almost unstoppable. If you apply it to that mindset. I'm going to get ready for fucking mentally prepared and ready. My whole life is going to change. You're changing everything around you. You're changing your mindset. You're treating people right. You're being grateful. You every morning you're waking up with gratitude. There's just this different mindset. Your whole being has to change to be prepared for to go out of this world. You know what I mean? But most people look at it as a easy bag. Oh, this is easy. I just got to dream like I did when I was 6. It's like, nah, it's not how it works. Yeah, you're studying all these books on algebra and equations and chemistry, but what's the fucking point if you're not gonna go fucking do a science experiment and shit, you know? Yeah, I think going forward, I think a lot of people that are watching us really are probably already have a lot of this information or have studied it, so they're kind of following along. I found myself watching. I'm editing videos and stuff, so I kind of have like things playing in the background and stuff as long as they're like loud and annoying. But like I don't know exactly what these guys are talking about, but I'm like like just kind of following along and like just kind of knowing. I started thinking about the people who watch us who maybe not know the information, but they're just kind of like getting bits and pieces and kind of seeing how it correlates to their life. And I started thinking like, not everything's gonna be laid out for you one, two, three, four, but going forward, we'll probably start having some books and stuff referenced in the description and stuff, so you guys can at least get some of this information if you're wondering what it is we're even talking about. But I think a lot of people, based on how they're searching, from frequency to whatever, kind of already got some sort of base information of this. But yeah, it's pretty wild that like this information itself is huge to your self development and just growing as a person in general. You know what I mean? Because nobody can argue that the way they were before this information is better. You can't. I mean, come on. I mean, you're this whole wake yourself up to with gratitude and being grateful for where you're at and what you have and never talking down on yourself and there's just so many other aspects of it to where it's like you can't think better than this. You can't have a better mindset than having this work, this information, this like it's it's madly important to get the information, understand it, and then apply it in your life. I mean, if you want to be better, I mean, who wants if you want to be the best of the best person you can be, you might not even have massive goals, but you maybe just want to be able to mentally navigate through life with a strong mindset. You don't always have to fucking conquer the world with this information. It could just be being a great fucking person, a great human being, you know. And if you want to be a contributing fucking great human being in life, then this information's for you. Some people, you find that in the Bible, and I believe that every part of this information is in the Bible, no matter which version of it you believe in. It's all what's the best way to approach any situation. It's in the Bible. It's everywhere. So however you choose to take on this information, do your thing. But And if you don't want to believe in the Bible, this there's just a science aspect behind it too. If you know, which is where we're at. You know, if you want to talk the universe and things like that, they can break it down into a science. You know what I mean? But it all is there's a piece of faith in it as well. You know, but the one thing you can't argue is that, you know, being positive and trying to look at everything from the best light, being grateful, believing in yourself, talking great to yourself, focus on your dreams, put it into like there's like all of it is, it's like, what's the best, if you had multiple choice, what's the best way to approach this situation? Punch Jim Bob in the fucking head, run him over with a car, smash a bottle over his head, or walk away and stay out of jail. It's like, oh, walk away and stay out of jail. All right, Jim, you're fucking winning. You're making great decisions now. You're probably gonna have a better life because you didn't run Jimmy over with the car. You know, like it's like it's no brainer shit that this is the best. Everything is like it's almost like duh. But most people out there are doing dumb shit. You know what I mean? And it's duh is kind of dumb to think that people are smart or even have control of their brains or their mind. And even the smartest of smart people, the perception is they have it, but once you get this information, you can people stick out like a sore thumb. You know, their mindsets and everything. You're just like, ooh, shit, they got a lot of work to do. You know, I've been there. You know, I know. You know, I still got a lot of work to do. I'll be doing this for the rest of my life. But it's funny how you know when people just have zero of the information. And you're just like man, I empathize, you know, and sympathize, like, you know, yeah, life's tough for that person. I don't give a fuck if they go home unless they're oblivious to everything and just like life is great, you know, yeah, you're suffering because of not having this information. You're not doing better without the information. You're suffering. And if you are doing awesome without this information, you probably already have this type of information or operate from these fundamentals without even knowing it. You know what? You probably already wake up with gratitude. And some people are fortunate like that. They just, you know, they were raised well. They started out, you know, properly. Like my kids, that man, it's like I'm talking this shit to them all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, gratitude. I bring them into the information. You know, like here's what this is. To where there's a lot of stuff that they're like, well, what are you talking about? They don't. They'll just be doing a lot of the stuff because that's all they know. You know, but yeah, there's a lot to be said. But I really wanted to address tonight the negativity thing. It just for me, I I believe in this information, but I also believe that it's misarticulated to people, and too many times there's too many professors out here. There's too many fucking scientists. There's too many people that think they know every fucking thing about it because they read a book. And I believe it's like listen to a preacher. Just because you read and translated the Bible one time doesn't make you fucking the all-knowing everything. You know, you're this is just how you what your interpretation of it is, your translation of it is. And so for me, I just, you know, if things don't harmonize with how I feel inside, it's not because I'm a naysayer and a negative guy. And I love when people pull the negative card and just throw it at people like, I hope that sticks. Like, it's like, the fuck out of here with that shit. The bottom line is, like, I know when things don't harmonize, when everybody just talks all that shit like, no, positivity, like yes, positivity, but understand you're not living in the real world. And you know what's funny is I can look at any of those people and just really look at what the fuck they're doing in their life, like hoping they can fucking skip, they're skipping to work and eating a fucking cherry lollipop. You know, the bottom line is you don't you don't act like you fucking like everything is peaches and cream. It ain't. There's negativity and you got to accept that in the world and navigate through that. But too many people articulate it to everybody that all this negativity. It's like, man, I understand it's there and it's there for good. You know, there's none of this negativity is not going away. You know what I mean? It's necessary. You know. All right, guys. So that's that. If you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Typically, we're out at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. We missed you this last Thursday. One-off situation, but we should be good going forward. We'll be back on this next Thursday. If you notice the new logo, it's the Frequency Control Show now. It's no longer the podcast. We're looking to do bigger and bigger and bigger things than just be a podcast. So going forward, we will start having books and things in the description like Think and Grow Rich and stuff that kind of touches on that, the information as a whole, resources like Clemmer and things that Roberto's been a part of, Your Wish is Your Command, which is what William's been a part of, or at least reading that information. That kind of breaks down the science of the stuff from start to finish. Like it's actually pretty like first time I've heard it all start to finish, like how to introduce the information and teach it really, as opposed to just kind of like hit and miss books that are about a certain aspect of this information, and it's kind of disjointed. That's a pretty good thing. I'm sure Clemmer start to finish starts there too. Probably even more cohesive than the Your Wish Your Command, which is just a seminar that they recorded and broke it into parts. But we'll start having some of those resources available for everybody. I know Will's working on a product and things of that nature that he'll start giving out for free. Some companion products, things you can use as resources to apply. It helps you apply it into your life and start, living this piece as opposed to pretending, and just taking information and not applying it. So anyway, we're out.